welcome to another Spec Bits video. I'm Tom and I'm a huge user of Starlink. I have one on my truck right here. Whoop. I have another one on my Rivian R1S, and we've recently gotten a Starlink Standard for our home. And a couple reasons for that. Mainly our ISP not very good here, and we don't have many options of ISPs in the area currently. In addition to that, we can't use 5G options from like Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, because we don't have cell service out here either. So satellite internet right now is our only reliable alternative. So there are some great deals happening right now. We got a Starlink Standard with the equipment being free, kind of under a lease. As long as your plan is active, you can have that equipment at no cost to you. The catch is, while you can use a Starlink Standard for a vehicle, like I want to eventually, this is a Mini right now, but I want to put a Standard on here, it's locked to your address. So I can't take it from here and put it on my truck. I have to buy something separate, buy a separate one specifically for this, and pay out of pocket for that one and put on the Roam plan. So that is a possibility in the future though. I keep an eye out. But we have a Starlink Standard for the home, and had it for a couple of days. It's pretty good. There's obviously a size difference and therefore a performance difference. As I walk over here, it's pretty good. I'm gonna go do a few tests on, a few comparisons, I should say, on that versus the Mini. I've had two Minis for a while, and we have a third one on the way with the Standard. There it is, right there. It's been doing pretty good. It's already pointed the correct way, and the router is pretty close to here, so we'll be doing some speed tests compared to the Mini. See if it's worth going to a Standard or not, if you have a Mini already, or if you're on the fence of which one should you get. Because the plans cost the same. The Roam plan will cost the same $165 either way if you get a Mini or a Standard. So it's up to you. I really favor download speeds and upload speeds and lower ping and things like that. So a Standard would work better for me, I think. But it doesn't apply for everybody. The Mini is perfect for probably 95% of the work I do. But a Standard would be great. But let's just go between the two. Speed tests, look and feel, how they're set up, things like that, so you have a better idea of what each dish can do if you're on the fence on which one you're going to buy or maybe upgrade or downgrade from. So let's go and get started on that. Now, as you guys have already seen on the channel, I have a Starlink Mini mounted to the roof of my Lightning. It's wired all the way through the cab into the interior. Ignore the mess. Down here, where it sits plugged in always. So whenever the truck turns on, it turns on. I have fast internet whenever I need it. It used to be in the bed, plugged in one outlet's back here, but it caused a few issues on startup and things like that, mainly turning it on, etc., etc. This does a bit more work in the installation, but a lot better for the use case, because now I can just get in the truck and go, and it'll turn on and calibrate automatically. So let's do a quick speed test here. I'm one of the 3 iPhone Air owners in the world, so we're going to use this iPhone Air for the test. Then we have your local Chevy dealer. This is this is the name of Starlink. We're just going to do a quick speed test to see how it looks. There are a couple you can do. You can do a speed test, like a general one, like the connection of the actual dish to the satellites, and you can also do a phone to router speed test, which isn't necessarily needed since it's all-in-one already. The router's included in this one, unlike the Standard, which I'll show in a bit. So we're going to start the speed test here. See what we got. Keep in mind, I'm being obstructed by both this house and our van, so it only has about maybe 70% of a view. We might need to move for this one. Now, my average speed test will usually be in the high 100s, low 200s for download. This is not a good reflection because it is blocked by 2 very tall objects. So we'll go off my average of about 150 to 2. So pretty good. Honestly, it's, like I said, the max I think most people would need. I really want the highest I can get, and so that's why I'm considering getting a Standard. But for pretty much every scenario, The Mini does perfect, and it's a bit less problem-free for your mobile station as well for a couple of reasons. The Mini doesn't need a router. So although it's a dish like the Standard, everything's inside. It broadcasts the Wi-Fi from this. The only thing that comes out of it is the power cable that is wired through the cab in here. There's also an Ethernet port you can use, which is in a future video, I plan to bring an Ethernet line under the cab as well, so I can hardwire my computer, or use this as a backup for my camper or even the house prior to us getting Starlink for the house. So if our Wi-Fi went down, I can just plug in an Ethernet from here and lead it back to our, internet room in the laundry room and give the house internet that way. So that's a future idea, but everything's all in one here. It's a nice setup, really cost effective on the installation side because it's just one thing I have to install, but it's a bit more pricey on the equipment side in most cases because, like it said, it's all in one. You're paying for the convenience. And your mileage may vary. There's sales going on back and forth. Sometimes the Mini is cheaper, sometimes the Standard is cheaper. It just depends. But most of the time, the Standard versus the Mini is the way to go because you can just take it places, and again, no router needed. But let's go to the Standard now, and I can show you what I mean when I say there's a different setup for the router. So here is the Starlink Standard. We have it mounted on our back porch, and it's doing pretty good. Now, instead of it being like the Mini where the router and everything is included, this is just a receiver. So there's wiring going down from that over to here, and this in turn goes down here and into the house through this hole right here. Over where this hole is on the other side of the house comes out the cable and up to the router it goes. So it's two pieces basically. You have the dish and you have the router. The router can also be added to a mesh system, which is pretty cool. So the two different kind of use cases. This is definitely more of a house use case. But again, if you either live out of your camper or your vehicle, or like me, just want faster speeds, the big dish plus a router is a good idea. Again, cost is different, setup is different. For example, for this, there isn't a mount that I can use for my truck like mine. I'd have to get a slightly different one where it just clips in and it's more susceptible to being, ripped off and taken, which is why mine's so bolted down. So not really exists like that. Most of the ones for the roof for these guys are magnetic or suction, which again are easy to take off. I want something that I can keep on there and not worry about getting stolen. That's why my Mini is so clamped down. I found a really good mount on the installation video. If you guys haven't seen it, I made a video on that installation way back, I think last summer, so check that out. But yeah. So let's look at the Starlink Standard and do a quick speed test here. The router is basically right here in the window, so we'll get more or less the same exact speed as if I were inside the house. So now we shall grab the 17 Pro Max, and here we are, the Starlink Standard, which I have called Model Y Standard. I love having fun names for the Starlinks. I'm waiting for my phone to actually get on it. Come on. It's still trying to use our old router, which is still running. You can do it, you can do it, you can do it. There we go, I think we're on it now. Indeed we are. So we're on the Model Y Standard, which is what I've called our Starlink Standard, of course. So right now there's only one device on here, which is the phone I'm using, this device. Cool, you can see that. You can also see this on the Mini as well. You have like a router and dish setup on the Mini technically, but they're all in one, so it doesn't show that like this, but you can still select between router and dish on the settings, which is pretty funny. But so we have the dish up there, of course. Where is it? There it is, it's thin. And we have the router. We're gonna do a speed test and see how that looks really quick. And this is going from the dish up there. We're getting super fast. right out the box. I got about 350 on my initial test when they installed it. So it fluctuates between that and around here, pretty much. We're in the mid, it was climbing up there. Mid 200s to start. My last test was about 320, but it's hovered around 290 for a bit, but pretty good, honestly. This is faster than what our ISP gave us, despite paying for a gigabit, which is a whole other story. But pretty good speeds here. And these are speeds you could get on your actual vehicle if you put one of these on there. Now, it might vary a bit because you'll be in motion, but if you're stationary, this is about what you'd receive with a Starlink Standard on your vehicle. And I've been considering it a lot because I've been using it as far as a latency perspective. There is a bit of a latency issue if you're gaming or remoting into different things, like I do for work. And this seems to minimize that noticeably well. It's not gone. It's not gone, but it minimizes it a decent amount. With that said, cost and plans still factor in hugely on which one you decide on getting. The Starlink Mini, you have to pay for out of the box if you get just the Mini. The Starlink Standard, you have to pay for out of box if you just get a Standard and put it on Roam, which is their mobile plan. However, there are a couple things you can do. So this Mini I purchased, and I got that, by itself, it was a refurbished unit because I wanted something a bit cheaper. And so that helped save a bit of money, but I paid for it in full, and I paid for the Roam plan in full as well. Well, with our Starlink Standard, you can also get it with a free Starlink Mini, and that Starlink Mini as well has a 50% discount on the plan. So my Roam plan on this Mini costs me about, I think, $165 a month for the top tier, uncapped, no cap plan on here. While it only costs about, I forget what the math turned out to be, but right around 70 something, I think, for the one that came with the standard. And that's going to replace the one I have on the R1S because I was paying full for both. So now we have the standard and the free Mini with that. I took off my old Mini off the Rivian, and instead I'm going to put that, somewhere else, maybe on the Sprinter, who knows, but right now it just sits in the garage, maybe put on the Coleman. We're going to put the discounted free Mini onto there. Now, similarly to the dish on the roof, they're technically under a lease. So 2 scenarios happen if you don't continue your plan. Scenario 1, you stop paying on it, you're charged in full for the Starlink Standard, router, and the Mini. And maybe the installation, I don't know, the installation is also free. They might add that to it too, I don't know. Scenario 2, you're done with your Starlink use, and you can return them at no extra cost. So they're basically on lease to you. If you want to buy them out and put them on Roam, you have to buy them out. If you want to, cancel your plan, you return them, or you could keep them and pay for it in full for the next time you want them. But basically, they're on lease to you. This is owned by me. I paid full for this one, as well as my second Starlink Mini that I've had for a bit, you've seen on the R1S. But this Standard and the new Mini that's on its way are on lease. So as long as we have the plan, they are free to us. We didn't pay for that hardware. We didn't pay for any hardware. All we're paying for are the subscriptions, which is an already discounted $108, I believe, versus $120 for the uncapped home residential plan for the home Starlink. And then for the Mini, it's a discounted by 50% Roam Max plan, going from $165 to about 70 something. And so it's a pretty good deal because, adding those together is a little higher than what I'm paying for one Roam on my Starlink Mini. And so it probably makes you wish, should I get a Starlink Standard to put on the house and then get one? But it wouldn't really make sense if we already have one. And I can't put that Standard on here without paying for it because they'll charge me for it. If you put it on, it's only for residential. If you put it on Roam, you have to pay for the equipment. If you move it from your address without moving, you're just trying to go mobile, You gotta pay for the equipment. You can only have it on lease if you stay at your home with that dish. This applies only to the Standard. Your free Mini is made to obviously be a Mini in Roam wherever it goes, because you're getting a Roam plan on it. And you can choose the different levels. We always choose the highest one because we work from our vehicles, but they're on lease to you. So keep that in mind. It's free as long as your subscription is active. But if you cancel your subscription, you have to either pay in full for the equipment or turn it back into Starlink, and they'll probably sell them as refurbished later on. So that's the breakdown. It's a pretty good setup, and I'm hoping to take advantage of that soon. I think we already are. I wish I knew about this prior to buying 2 Starlink Minis, because we could have had at least one free had we gotten our Starlink Standard sooner. But it's all right. I mean, I think I still love this thing. I'm so happy I have it. So let me know what you guys think. I'll have my link for Starlink down below in the comments, so that way you guys can get a free month on your first Starlink, or usually it happens the second one. You pay for your first one, and the second one is your referral free month. So I'll put my referral link in the description so that you can have a free month of Starlink if you decide to get it. Use that. Help me pay for this big old thing. It's tiny, but the price is big. But let me know what you guys think. Do you have Starlinks already, or do you have maybe a want for a Starlink? What do you think of doing? Standard, Mini, both, one or the other? Which plans? Do you want a capped plan, like 50 gigabyte plan, 100 gigabyte plan, uncapped? There are many different ways to customize your plans and your dishes too. So let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll have a few more Starlink based videos coming soon. So stay tuned for that. Have a good one.